Hey, we live. Yeah.
It's Friday.
Hey, turn up,
It's
man.
Friday. It's the weekend, right?
Hey, it's the weekend.
It's the weekend, right?
Hey, turn
listen,
up on
I'm
me,
working 9
man.
to 5, so I'm ready to let loose now.
Hey, man, that's what's up.
I got my food. Put that drinking on.
Nah, I got a little Miller Lite right now.
Miller Lite. All right.
We liquored out. We got some shit they ain't never seen before. Look at that, boy.
Hey, that's sweet.
Almost done.
Wow. Yeah, that bamboo.
Hey, don't judge us. It's
Almost done.
That bamboo. Yeah. By the way, this started out full before we got on this jump, but you can see where it's at.
Hey, don't worry.
All right, word. We want to go ahead and welcome everybody to a Code One podcast. And I'm saying you already know it's Fun Fridays. You already know it's your boy Big D.
Hey, man, you already know it's your boy L Dottie, man. Big D was trending.
Bruh, hey, I'm living a dream, bro. Living a dream. Hold up, let me turn this phone down. My fault. Yeah, bro. I'm living, bro. I'm glad it's the weekend. It's been a busy ass week. Yeah, man. Hey, if I ever needed a drink, today is the day that I need a motherfucking drink, bro.
Yeah, bro, what's going on with you? What you?
Hey, it work, living, adulting. You know what I'm saying? Being
man, don't let these people stress you, man. You gotta relieve that shit, man.
Word. That's why I'm relieving it, bro. I switched it up. I finally switched up the brew. You know what I'm saying? Because I have been drinking on. You know what I'm saying? So my boy GP, he inspired me from the last episode. You know what I'm saying? So I went out and picked up some Blue Moons. You know what I'm saying? The Belgian whites. You know what I'm saying? Kept it simple. You know what I'm saying? This joint is actually really, really smooth. So everybody out there who is just getting into the beer world, and you kind of struggling to find a beer that doesn't have too harsh of a hoppy taste or whatever you want to call it, I definitely think a Blue Moon is a good option. What you got over there, bro?
Yeah, Blue Moons definitely get the job done, man. But over here, we on two different things, man. We got the we went a little classic, man, Miller Lite. And, we got the Coors Banquet over here. You know what I'm saying? Just two little, classic beers. I'm over here with the homies, as you can see. I'm back home in the Met, man, and it just feels good to be home. These are some of the fellas I grew up with, you know what I'm saying, and we always stay in close contact with each other, so we already was doing what we usually do on a Friday, which is, turn up and drink. So I said, shit, y'all trying to be on the show? They said, shit, they with it. So goddamn, I said, we with it.
Word. Hey, that's what it's about, bro. And that's one thing I love about beer, man. It naturally brings people together. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Drinking is a social thing. So, fellas, definitely appreciate all y'all hopping on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cool with Larry, y'all cool with me. It's all love.
Hey, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, man. We can start to my right here, man. You can let them know your social media handle you want to, whatever you plug your shit, nigga. Plug my shit.
All right, so I'm Aaron Evans. Graduate Lower Richland with my boy Larry Sherman.
Okay.
Right back here.
Top time representing.
Graduated from Coastal Carolina University, bachelor's degree in 14. Pi Gamma Nu, Yo Bruhs. I'm not really on social media. You can find me on Facebook. That's pretty much it.
All right. Hey, I posted the link in the group me too, so y'all can go and post it to y'all pages, and it's on you, Bo.
All right, my name is Sharon. Got it. That's all you need to know.
See that Sharon right there? I didn't see Sharon. What's going on, dog?
What's going on, bro? With my all these people right here, my A1 day ones, man. So, man, the only thing that can make us close is blood, man. That's it. So, but that's it, man. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always good to fellowship with y'all. It's always good to fellowship. It's always good to see black men fellowship anyway. You know what I'm saying? Especially with these times that's going on, man. It's always good to just see everyone healthy, seeing everyone happy. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, in these times. But that's it, man.
Word.
Yo, B, what's up, bro? Listen, y'all know me. So listen, just call me Fear of Egypt, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't call me anything else but that. They call me Spank. If you don't know me, don't call me that shit. Right? So you have to be honest, man. But just being honest, man, it's Friday. You know what I'm saying? It's the weekend. You know what I'm saying? For our 9 to 5 entrepreneurs, it's time to let loose. You know what I'm saying? Have a little fun. Just be honest with you.
Yes, sir.
Got a little bro. I really don't drink beer on a daily basis. But I'll be honest with you. The last time I drank a beer, bro, was probably about 2 to 3 months ago, to be honest with you. And I'm feeling good right now, bro. I'm feeling really good. I'm drinking a coolish beer by my man Larry. You know, we're gonna talk about this, bro. We're gonna talk about my beer avenues, bro. Cause like, y'all gotta put me on some better beers, man. Some APAs. You feel me? You know, I'll be honest with you, man. Right now, man, I be rocking with the lagers, bro. But y'all be putting me on some new stuff, man. Y'all gotta teach me. Y'all gotta teach me, man.
Word,
that's what first, dog. Y'all gotta put me on, bro.
I got you, dog, man. We like to we still exploring ourselves, man, and really it's just about going to the when you go to the store, I usually a good thing I say do is go to the make your own 6-pack.
What's that? What's that?
So if you go to like Food Lion or like Harris Teeter, maybe even like Publix, probably any grocery store, and you go to the beer section, they'll typically you'll see like single cans and single bottles, all kinds of shit. And it'll say build your own 6-pack, usually for about $10. And you can make your own 6-pack and just try all kinds of beers. That's really the way to really expand. But like we had some brewers on the show Wednesday. Shout out to Kev and Coffee, man. They told us the best thing for you to do is to be in an environment of beer where you can take a sip and ask questions to the brewer to try to get and understand, or start off with the base of the thing that you like. Like if you like fruits, you know what I'm saying, get something with fruity but still has a nice, hot flavor, or whatever that combination may look like. What's up, bro?
When you compare beer to liquor, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest difference? Like, I feel like both of them is gonna give me the same feeling, while liquor might do it a little faster way. But like, how can you explain to me what's the difference, bro? Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't really drink beer like that.
Yeah. So, you heard him, D?
Yeah. So, in the case anybody that was watching couldn't hear him, he's basically wanting to know what the difference is between beer and liquor. I think for starters is just the alcohol percentage. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're not about to, just chug a 12-ounce, bottle of liquor. I mean, you but I do think that there's I think with each different type of alcohol, there's its own. I think it's just something that particular alcohol is good for. You know what I'm saying? So liquor is typically, you know what I'm saying, like if you're out and about, you know what I'm saying, you about to go out to the club or to the bar or something like that, you pre-game it. Basically, like you really want to get active, you know what I'm saying, and you need to get there, you know what I'm saying, then you probably going to take a couple of shots before you leave the crib, or at least at the bar. Whereas, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to beer, I feel like beer is the most versatile type of alcohol, you know what I'm saying, because you can drink, and really you can find beer at many different events, and you might not be able to find liquor. But I think that it's just to me, it's like a more balanced drunk. You know what I'm saying? Or
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's a couple beers, like it's a couple IPAs. I ain't gonna lie, I chug them. Matter of fact, we went to that Greek. We went to a Greek event, and they gave us a strong IPA.
Oh yeah.
I had to dip out, so we just chugged it, thinking that we were just gonna get a rush, bruh. Some IPAs something serious, depending on which one it is. You can't just chug 2 IPAs and think you're gonna be right.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the alcohol, like you say. But I feel like you was about to say, with the beer, you're able to control it a little bit more. Because just because you drink a beer don't mean you about to be drunk as fuck. Right. Now you might feel a little tingling. Now because usually, depending on what the beer is, it usually takes about 3 bottles for me to be like, oh, okay, I know I'm teetering the line. You know what I'm saying? So with alcohol, like you say, the alcohol percentage is a lot higher, and the more you take, the more fucked up you're gonna get.
What's y'all number one go-to? Like if y'all had to choose something that y'all can just drink every day.
Beer or beer.
What's y'all number one go-to?
Definitely beer.
No.
What kind of beer he has?
What type?
My favorite is Victory Sour Monkey. That's okay.
I was telling them about that today. Yeah. Sour Monkey.
I love it.
Last time, this is how I've been feeling.
Let me ask you a question. Like one of my favorite beers is the lager, right? The Yingling. So you said 53 Sour Monkey. Like how would you compare that to the Yingling?
You can't. It's two different.
It's two different avenues.
I'm a perfect person who like the Yingling. So I mean, tell me why I would or would not like it compared to if I like Yingling.
Well, it depends on. So the Sour Monkey, it's a triple. You know what I'm saying? And it has sour. It has like a sour start to it, but it's not like a overbearing sour. It's more like like a Granny Smith apple type of flavor, where it pucker your jaws a little bit, but then it has a nice refreshing follow at the end, and it's a light beer that you could drink at 9%. You know what I'm saying? It's cool and refreshing. Yeah, that shit is like
9.5. 9.5.
That shit that is like that.
Yeah. Hey, but we just got a comment and I did want to because we got another special guest waiting backstage, so I want to bring her but the comment is saying
you gotta introduce Cuz, man.
Oh yeah, my fault. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm Steven Champagne. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing other than that. I drink a little beer, a little liquor.
Word. All right, welcome to the show, bro. Definitely appreciate it, man. So Amanita in the comments, she's saying she said beer is nasty. She will pass. Amanita, first I'm gonna say I feel like you just haven't found the right beer, but then she said now wine will get you right. And so I have somebody on here that I know for
I can't drink wine.
So
it's kind of girly. You ask me. I ain't
Right.
gonna say it's just like beer, but don't sleep on that wine.
Hey, don't sleep on the wine.
I ain't never sleep on it now. You get fucked up off of it. But it just
that Merlot.
I ain't about to sit here and
no, listen, I'm gonna tell you that wine
I ain't that elegant.
That wine is a grown person drink. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, it's an acquired taste. To me, it's like a cigar, or it's even like beer. It's an acquired taste. I didn't drink wine back in the day, my college years, because I wasn't hip to it. But once I started drinking it, it's a different type of.
I feel like it's a dinner drink.
It could be a dinner drink, but that's what I'm saying. It's a different level. So we're not going to definitely not knock her. Because that's she's right in my opinion.
I mean, female.
I like.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and Izzy on. Izzy, welcome.
Hey.
Good evening.
How are you?
Well, first, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself, drop your social media handles, anything that you want to share, anything you want, kind of put out there to the people.
Oh, wow. I feel like my intro is about to be dumb, boring, but I'm Izzy. You can follow me on Instagram, I_Enigma_, and I'm an enigma.
Oh, enigma. Okay. I said my nigga.
No. I mostly post about like random stuff on my IG. I don't know. Like it was a travel blog at one point, and I don't know what it is now. It's just whatever I feel like it being for the week.
Word. Well, definitely appreciate you coming on the show. So, Izzy, first, I want to get your initial reaction. I know you've been backstage and you've been listening. What do you think about the comment that wine is a girly drink or is whack?
So wine is not a girly drink because wine has been around for way longer than beer. Beer originated as ale, and people have been making wine. Rich people have been making wine throughout the centuries. It originated in before Christ. So if you don't know about wine, you behind the times, literally.
Oh, I know about wine.
Hey, she said, "Hey, that'll be there before Jesus."
I mean, Jesus drank wine. I'm just saying.
I've had wine before.
Yeah.
But it's just not the same as drinking Hennessy or drinking a nice little good Bud Light on a nice Friday night.
I don't know about the Bud Light.
I think you have to find the right type of wine, right? Like not everybody drinks red, not everybody drinks white. Like for me personally, I'm a rosé drinker. So rosé is a combination of red and white. And if you like a little bit of sweet, then you could do the rosés. But I'm a wine connoisseur. So with dinner, I'll have like a nice Shiraz, something with some coffee and some grape in it, maybe a little hint of fruit. You know?
Okay.
It's real nice with a steak. Don't knock it till you try it. You get you a nice fillet and some full body of Shiraz. Delicious.
Right? What was it? A full body shit?
Full body means that, like, you know, when you drink it, it kind of like it's heavy on the tongue and you can almost chew it, almost like it's just. But that's the ones that have the most alcohol content. But it's good with a good steak.
We was talking about wine a little bit earlier today, just in general. And when you drink wine and get to a certain level, it seems like the next day, if you get to that point where you have hangovers, whether it's a beer, liquor, or wine, it seems like wine has the worst hangover. What's your opinion on that?
I wouldn't say it's the worst hangover. I think the thing about wine is it sneaks up on you. So if you don't recognize the signs of being wine drunk and you don't slow down, that's how you end up with a worse hangover. For me, I can't do beer because I actually have a gluten allergy and I can't consume a lot of hops. And so, and I also have a wheat sensitivity. So what I would do is, if I was I used to go to this brewery in Atlanta called Sweetwater Brewery, and it had some bomb ass beers. And I actually enjoyed beer, but when I developed my allergy, I kind of had to fall back onto other things. So I would say you just have to pace yourself with any alcohol. Like if you do 20 shots, you're gonna be fucked up, right? But with wine, you do 3 glasses, you're gonna be fucked up.
Yeah.
Don't do it on the empty.
Wine has some healthy benefits.
Facts.
Say it again.
Wine has some healthy benefits.
It does. If you do like red wines, if you have like low iron, red wine is really good for people that have low iron. If you, what's another one? Depending on the type of grapes that they use, it can give you some antioxidants. You know, it's kind of good for you. Doctors recommend 1 glass every couple of weeks for pregnant women. You can consume up to 1 glass. So it ain't bad.
So Izzy, with you being the only female on the podcast tonight, you know, you just chilling throughout your day. What moment, like, hey, I need to drink some wine? Like, what is that moment? I'm about to go out. I'm just chilling. When is
you know, I don't drink like that. So it'll be a special occasion. Like I'm drinking now because I'm on the podcast and I'm having a nice prosecco straight out the bottle because I can't be too classy with it, you know.
From the bottom.
All right.
Turn up.
Got to be classy, a little classy, a little ratchet, you know. But it's usually when I'm feeling like if I'm about to have like a night. Like I create moments for myself. So sometimes like I'll just put on some cute little jazz music. I'll put on my silky robes, dim the lights, you know, light some candles, and I just sit on the couch and just, you know, have some wine. Or if I'll do a bubble bath, I'll do the same thing. So I just, you know, create moments.
Got it.
That's dope. Well, so Izzy, I'm sure that you I think we kind of talked about this in some of our group chats and stuff, but I wanted to kind of spark a conversation about some stuff that's been going on. And I got another friend who I know has a very strong opinion on this conversation. Me and her kind of got into it a little bit. She's supposed to be joining in, so hopefully she comes in pretty soon. But everybody's talking about it right now on Twitter. It's going crazy. B. Simone. She made some very strong comments, and right now you're the single representative for the women.
Damn, it's a lot of pressure.
I know, right?
And we coming too, yeah. Don't worry about that.
But I do want to fill everybody else in that may be watching and isn't aware of what the comments were. So I'm gonna show the video real quick. And then we're going to get the conversation started. Everybody that's watching, again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're sharing the video stream to your page. Comment below. Let us know what you think about these comments that we're about to share right here. Give me 1 second. Bring this up. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. All right.
He can't have a 9 to 5.
What? Why not? You don't want him to have an honest job?
I mean, he could be a hustling entrepreneur.
So you want him to be you want CEO status?
Yes.
Okay, he can't
so
like
he can't
clock in and clock out.
No.
Damn,
I think
Simone.
entrepreneurs should date entrepreneurs.
Okay, but still there's people who have really good jobs with vocational skills. If he's a mechanic.
I'm sure, but no, you're not gonna understand my lifestyle. You're not gonna understand why I'm up at 3 a.m.
Damn, you making this hard for me. Okay, all right.
You know, he has to be an entrepreneur.
A business owner. He getting one of them stimulus packages from Donald Trump, one of them small business loans, and he ain't buying jewelry with it.
Or moving into that direction.
Yeah.
He can't have.
Woo. All right, man. So that's what she said, bro. That's what she said. So, I mean, my first question off rip, Izzy, do you agree with her?
So I think I agree with what she was trying to say, but not what she actually said.
Look at everybody's face. They're like, hell.
No, but let me explain. So, for example, right, she is in entertainment, and it is difficult being in entertainment and dating someone who's not in that profession because schedules are going to conflict. You're not going to really have a lot of time to spend with each other because people that work 9-to-5 jobs or have to be at work between like a certain amount of hours, they have schedules. They're going to have to go to bed at a certain time. They're going to have to get up at a certain time. And so for her, if she's out doing shows at 10, 11 p.m. at night and she's not done till 2, 3 in the morning, her hours are completely different from a person who would work 9 to 5. And I understand what she was trying to say from that perspective, but the way she said it, I think, is what's making everybody mad because it's like, girl, you ain't above a 9 to 5er. You know what I'm saying? Like you literally was just making 9 to 5 money like 2 seconds ago. So don't put 9 to 5 people down. You know what I'm saying?
Not to mention the whole thing about I think her perspective, that's how you can tell that she just got into that lifestyle, because if she really was in that lifestyle for a long time, she would understand like people like Steve Harvey, NBA players, NFL players, they don't work a 9 to 5, but they never see their spouse anyway. So if their spouse was an entrepreneur, guess what? You still wouldn't see your spouse. You still wouldn't see your spouse. Your schedules are going to conflict regardless. There are CEOs there are people, six-figure executives that work a 9 to 5 that fly home on Thursdays and Fridays and fly back to their job on Mondays to do what they have to do. Like she doesn't. I guess that's how you. Like I said, you can tell who really has been in that lifestyle for a while and understand what it takes as a sacrifice in order to just make a relationship work, regardless. Because her whole reasoning was like, you're not gonna understand why I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning doing emails. First of all, that man worked 9 to 5. He sleep anyway.
Right.
He's not asking you that. And on top of that too, if he trusts you, if you say you work at 3 a.m. checking your emails, then that's just what it is. So that has nothing to do with that. I think I don't know, bro.
I got a slightly different opinion on this, and I think B. Simone is right in what she said, and I say that because it's her opinion. Like, if she's gonna date a person who works a 9 to 5, shit. If she don't want to date a 9 to 5 person, that's cool. I'm not for you, obviously, because I'm a 9 to 5. So that's what I do. So if she wants to date people who are in a similar lane as her, do what you want to do. I think where she missed a little bit, where she feels as if a 9 to 5 person can't understand her lifestyle.
That's what
now she's limiting herself.
Right.
I mean, 9 to 5 people are the people who support you, who watch your videos, and who are commenting and spreading you and sharing your stuff. And to say that we won't understand your lifestyle is kind of, not it. We understand your lifestyle. We see it. We support it.
Yeah, so, I think with that, because I can't understand where she's coming from, but it's the delivery on it. Like she didn't get it across the way that she maybe meant to. And I can understand that too, because when you put on the spot like that, you just talking about things. Sometimes you don't think things all the way through when you say it. You just try to, say it the best way you can at that moment. And, when it comes to that, people got to understand when it comes to entrepreneurs and when it comes to people that work 9 to 5, you can't have one without the other. It's a support system for everybody. So to say it in the way that she said it without much consideration on how people that actually work 9 to 5s will feel, you know what I'm saying? That's just where she kind of dropped the ball on it. Like, I understand the point, because it does take a lot to be an entrepreneur. You got to have that mentality, that go-getter mentality, that hustle mentality. You're going to be up a lot. You're going to be thinking about shit you got to remember, shit you may forget. It's a lot that comes with it, yes.
But you said a key layer.
Personally, bro, I'll be honest with you. I feel she didn't say anything wrong. She gave you her preference, bro.
Her preference.
She gave you her preference. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a person telling you their preference. If you don't meet their preference, you don't meet the needs that they have. Guess what? Then guess what? You're gonna find a person that meets those needs, and that's all she did. She literally expressed her feelings. That guess what? A 9-to-5 type of person is not the type of person that she's gonna deal with. And you understand the reason why, right? She's a busy person. Like I'll be honest with you, right? With my job, I have to work from home. You feel me? I'm a 9-to-5. You know what I mean? I make good money, but guess what? She want to be like, yo, no, baby, no, listen. I want to go to the Cayman Islands. I want to go to Bermuda. I want to go to Bermuda, right? If she say any of that, you know what I say? You know, babe, I can't really do that right now because guess what? Even though I work from home, guess what? I still gotta be home to do my job. You feel what I'm saying? So she basically saying, hey, listen, I need a person who's gonna be on my same level because what? If I want to up and go, up and leave, I want to do that without me saying, well, can you take off? Can you do this? So I can understand her. She's really telling you, listen, this is her preference. There's nothing wrong with that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Right. See, and this thing about it, you gotta understand, man. When you date a person, you gotta date a person based off of not only that, you have to click on all levels, dog. You have to click on all levels. Even when it comes to love, even when it comes to friendship, but most importantly, it does have to click on a financial level as well. She's telling you, listen, I need a person who's going to be on an entrepreneurial level, just like me, because I like to give and go. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Now, like Aaron said, she's going to limit herself. That's true. But at the same time, she might also put herself in a position where she might meet the next person that's going to give her more than that 9-to-5 as well.
I doubt it. She has to be willing to make the sacrifice. But she has to be willing to make the sacrifice. If you're going to limit yourself like that.
Look, my whole thing is this. That's what I'm saying. Jack, you're right. Spank, you are absolutely right. The fact that that she is telling you her preference is not the issue. That's not the issue.
She said it. It's how she said it.
It's what she said. It's not that's not the issue. Like I don't really care that you don't want a 9-to-5. It's the fact that you don't understand that it's 9-to-5 people that's making you an entrepreneur.
So Sherman, first question is D, what's your perspective on? I want to know. I want everybody.
So I definitely agree with. Hey, brother, he the host of the show right now. Hey, but Sherm, I agree with everything you just said, and I don't think that most people were offended that she doesn't want a 9-to-5 person. It's the fact that she made it seem as though a 9-to-5 person isn't capable of having a hustle mentality and isn't capable of having a flexible schedule. She could have just said, I want somebody that has the same lifestyle as me, that can get up and go, that has the means and the resources and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like she could have said, just kept it that simple. But she said, I don't want a 9-to-5 person because they can't XYZ. And it's people that can. And so that proved that she's wrong in what she said. And then the fact that she came back once people said, well, wait, it's people out here that's hustling like shit. You know what I'm saying? They have 9-to-5. I'm a person with a 9-to-5 and I'm an entrepreneur on the side. So I see both sides of it. So I know for a fact, either way it can be done. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about the preference. Like he said, it's just about what she said and how she said it. Because words mean things.
Yeah, I don't care about her preference. Like you can choose whoever you want, but you gotta realize context matters. Yeah. Context matters at the end of the day. Whether or not you realize it or not, people don't realize it. But whether or not you lose by 3 points or whether or not you lose by 45 points, context matters. Mm-hmm. So like a loss is a loss, right? But again, context matters. We don't care. I don't care about your preference. But at the end of the day, by you saying those things the way you said it, like I said, just like it's her opinion, my opinion, the way she said it, she botched it. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Her delivery was off. Your delivery, you could have said, because at the end of the day, communication, it goes both ways. It goes the listener and the person that is delivering it as well. At the end of the day, a lot of people think that if I give you something, or if I say something and you don't like the way I said it, then it's my fault. Or it's their fault. But people don't realize the person that is delivering the person. I'm sorry, Larry.
No, bro, I'm raising my hand because I'm next.
Okay.
You got his church finger up.
The person is saying what they need to say. needs to be able to reach the audience as well. They need to be able to reach the person that they're communicating with as well. That's part of communication skills. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but this is how I feel about it, bro. I feel like we're missing one key thing because it's all about perspective, right? She said she wouldn't date somebody with a 9-to-5, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she never said she wouldn't smash him.
I mean, but that's not what that wasn't the question Nick asked. He asked, "Would you ever date?"
Maybe the nigga don't want to be her man. Maybe the nigga don't want to be her man. Shit. Maybe the nigga don't want to be her man. You're like, shit, I ain't trying to be your man. What? I gotta go to work tomorrow. I can't be your man. I gotta get a 9-to-5 in. You don't understand the struggle of a 9-to-5 nigga. Goddamn shit. Motherfucker.
So I'm gonna say this. I feel like B. Simone, she needs some sort of like press training because she's been putting her foot in her mouth like all quarantine long. And like people are about sick of her. Like I was never a fan of hers to begin with. So like it was nothing for me to cancel because I don't really follow her whack ass thirsty jokes anyway. But you know, you can't shit on the people that was buying your little stupid lip gloss and your little trash ass book because they the people that put money in your pocket. The reason why you're a millionaire.
I saw Twitter. They was roasting.
Hey, Spank got something to say. What? Tell us, Spank.
This is the reason why, man.
That's from AliExpress, man.
I'll be honest with you, right? That's her preference. That's her preference, right? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, their own preference, right? Here's the thing about it, right? How many guys don't have to take her very seriously, right? Here's the thing about it. That's a female. At the end of the day, I guarantee you, when she lay down at night, she's still wondering, like, yo, listen, I want that one guy, right? She's already limiting herself to the type of guy that she can get, right? Let's be honest. The type of guy that she wants, what they doing? They hustling. Those real hustlers, what they doing? Or they got 50 females, you know what I'm saying, every state they go to who want them. So think about it is she can limit herself, but think about it, she's not gonna get that quality that she's really looking for. So at the end of the day, what's she gonna keep doing? Keep looking. She's gonna keep looking. She's gonna find an excuse of why she can't find it, and she's gonna bring all those excuses on what? On the men. Now realizing that at the end of the day, self-reflection is the biggest reflection, bro. You have to look in the mirror while you're not receiving the things that you're wanting. And I guarantee you, because this is the thing about it, right? Hold on. And most people, I would say, she's herself. And some female mind, right? She's a successful female. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, she's still lonely. And then she's still lonely, right? I'm sorry, at the end of the day, right? The biggest joy in life is having a companion that you can spend life with. Who she spend her life with?
Well, that's debatable. That's debatable.
That's debatable for me.
Wow. You trying to debate it, but guess what? How many films you smashing, bro?
Because at the end of the day, everybody be looking for that 100% person. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody 100% perfect. You feel what I'm saying? You only gonna find that 80%, that 70%. You be going off falling in your means. That's like living out of your lifestyle. If you can't afford this new ass car, why you gonna go put down a payment for it? If you know you can't keep it, it's gonna get repoed. You feel what I'm saying? If you want this boss ass nigga, like everybody really kind of want, everybody want that rich ass motherfucker. I want a rich ass uncle, so I can start working right now. So I don't have to do a damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to him, nephew.
But it ain't that. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta get what you get. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might like that, but at the end of the day, you gotta settle for what you can get that makes you happy at the end of the day.
You kind of lost me for the settle.
Yeah. I don't know about settling. I'm gonna say this.
Listen, what I mean by that, when you find that certain somebody that actually makes you truly happy, and y'all connect on that level, it don't matter if he was a homeless person or she was a homeless person or they was the richest motherfucker in the world. You feel what I'm saying?
Bro, he said some real shit.
That connection gonna be that connection. You know what I'm saying? That's what a relationship is all about, is that connection. You know what I'm saying? Because you can always help somebody get money, but at the same time, you can always help somebody fall down.
Yeah, I was with you until you said that homeless shit. I ain't helping no homeless nigga be my man. I ain't doing that shit. No offense to anybody that might be watching this homeless or whatever.
What's wrong with society? The bigger picture, Izzy.
I hear it, but you also have to take into consideration one thing. B. Simone just hit her first million. Why would she go be with a man who don't even have a place to lay his head? Like the balance of scales is not there. It's all B. Simone, and what is he bringing to the table? Dick? Come on now. We got to get out of that mindset that just having somebody is enough, because it's not. Like, personally speaking, just having somebody is not enough for me. There's certain things that I see happening in my life that are part of the things that I want. And if my person can't help me get to that point, or I got to help them get to the point where I'm at so that we can get to the point where we need to be at, that's double the work.
Hey, real quick, Izzy, you got a amen corner on here. Yeah, she got an amen corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring Jasmine on. She was backstage like, yes, amen, girl.
Hey, girl.
All right, Jazz. So first off, Jazz, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know, because I know that you got your own business venture, so you go ahead and plug yourself, any social media you want to share, all that stuff.
All right. Well, my name is Jasmine Vincent. I am your local realtor and contractor. So you can follow me on Facebook, Jasmine Vincent, or you can look at Instagram. That's JV Exclusive with no E on exclusive. So JV Exclusive on social media. So
Jasmine, yeah. I'm sorry, real quick before you get started. What areas are you a realtor in?
Charlotte and surrounding areas.
Oh, Charlotte and surrounding areas. Mm-hmm. I know you probably got some investors in your pocket that's looking for funding, right?
Yeah, I'm an investor looking for funding.
You're an investor looking for funding. We'll talk.
All right.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Network. So,
right.
All right. Well, anyway, me and you done talked about this a little bit, so I'm ready to hear what you got to say today. Because we was going at it at probably like 12 midnight, 1 o'clock, talk about this shit. So,
because I've been saying for months.
How do you feel? Go ahead and get the people your insight on this topic.
So basically, how I feel is that I personally would like a man who's an entrepreneur as well. Y'all just heard me. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm still on my way up. I'm still grinding as well. So I'm not looking for someone who's necessarily, on the top or whatever. If you're still building and you're still growing, that's fine. But I need you to already be about that action. I'm not here to pull you up to where I am and, we work together or whatever like that. You have to actually be, ambitious and doing some things on your own, and not need me necessarily to be your cheerleader to start. Like, once we're in there, once you're already doing it, yeah, of course I'm going to support you in this and that. But if I got to say, oh, your dream sounds really good, and here's the way that you can maybe start off, then I don't have time for that. Like, I need you to, how we're already rolling.
I got a question. Mm-hmm. So what if I don't have those dreams, because with my 9 to 5, I have a profession, right? So my profession is gonna give me that capital, that income that I need, even more than what most entrepreneurs are gonna make, right? I'm not trying to put up my income, right? But let's say if I make about 60,000 minimum, right? And entrepreneurs not even making some of that, right? What's wrong with me? Because I have a 9 to 5. I'm making 60,000, right? I'm under 30. I have my whole life ahead of me. Still, no degree. So what's wrong with me?
There's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. But for me personally, my preference is somebody who's an entrepreneur, because I'm up working, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. I go to bed, I wake up 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm working again. There might be times where I'm canceling multiple dates because I'm trying to be out here making this money, and I want you to.
I got another question, right? You sound like you got a busy lifestyle, right? But at the same time, if you got a busy lifestyle and I'm an entrepreneur and I got the same type of lifestyle, when do we have time for each other?
It's funny. I literally just had this conversation with my dad. Like, but if I date another entrepreneur, like, when are we gonna be together? It doesn't matter because right now is not the time for just.
Hold on now.
It's grind time, and it's grind time. I'm still in my 20s. We got a whole entire life to be chilling at home watching TV. Like, let's grind and get this money right now for the next 2-3 years, and then we can go ahead and settle down and start that part.
I would like to chime in. Because I think from a perspective, because I'm older than Jasmine is, I have multiple streams of income and I work a 9-to-5, and I guess you could call me an entrepreneur. So in order for something like that to work, you and your partner both have to actually schedule time to spend with one another. And once you get to that certain point where you're comfortable, it's not always just about the hustle. There also has to be time where you set aside for yourself and for other things that are, making self-care a priority. And I think a lot of people confuse being a hustler with having that be your everyday 24/7, 365, because nobody can work every day 24/7, 365. You will burn yourself out. You'll put yourself in a hospital. So there has to be downtime, and there has to be things that you set aside for you to be able to clear your mind and to reset so that you can still be that person that's on top, still hustling, still grinding. So what I do, there was a point where I was in grad school running my business and working, and I had to basically set aside time. Like, okay, Saturdays are going to be the day that I go on a date, or I see my man or whatever, see my homegirls. And I still keep that even to this day because, I'm not going to burn myself out just for the sake of hustling, because I'm going to hustle myself to death and not going to enjoy the fruits of my labor.
Mm-hmm. I agree. There definitely has to be some planned time. But what I meant is maybe the amount of downtime that you might have with just having a 9-to-5, and when you get off work you can just come home and chill. I might not have that same schedule, or he might not have the same schedule. Yeah, we need to have some downtime, but sitting at home all the time is just not the priority right now. There'll be plenty of opportunity for that in the future, but
so I think when you say that, I don't think that that's about entrepreneur versus 9-to-5. I think that's just if you're ready to prioritize dating. Because I don't care if you're an entrepreneur, 9-to-5, a trust fund, baby, whatever. If you dating somebody, it's just expected that it's a certain amount of time that you're able to allocate to that person. Because Candace in the comments, she just said, "I don't know you if I'm not chilling with you," which I definitely agree with. I think quality time is pretty frequently a top love language for a lot of people. And I don't think that there are people that are actively dating, even entrepreneurs, that are like, okay, well, cool. We just never have to spend any time together because we're entrepreneurs.
Never, but how much quality time do you have to have with someone?
I think that's a matter of preference, right? Because Beyonce and Jay-Z still find time to get pregnant and travel the world, and they worth $1 billion. So if they could do it,
they get that money.
Right.
Hey, it's truly about perspective, bro. It's truly about perspective. See, so if you're in that grind mode, in that hustle mentality, in that go get it mentality, nothing is going to deter you from that. A relationship truly deter you from your goal. So as an entrepreneur, especially one that decides to go after they hustle 24/7, not saying that they're doing stuff 24/7, but saying that at any moment their focus could go on their business versus what that other person is requesting from them. So as an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to make the sacrifice of, okay, well, if I can't find somebody who's on the same thing as mine, to where we have an understanding that, yeah, we all busy with the hustle and bustle, but at the same time, we, when it's time to get up, we know we want to spend the time with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's who those people have to define what that is. Now, not all people is with that shit. Because like you say, some people's love language is for you to be able to spend time with them. But if you're an entrepreneur in the mindset that I think Jazz is trying to explain, you would take your business over what that person wants. And it's not fair for you to do that to them. So instead of saying I'm being in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? I think that's fair. I think that's fair because it's all about perspective.
I don't think you necessarily put the business in front of the relationship if you're like truly down for that person. But I think that your partner will understand in those instances where you have to make those sacrifices. And so there wouldn't be, as much controversy. Like I always said that I personally believe that it's easier for a woman to date a man who is an entrepreneur and for her to be more understanding of his life and just sit back and, still be supportive than it is for a man who has a woman who's an entrepreneur and for him to be okay with her in that type of lifestyle. But for me as an entrepreneur, since I am a woman, I would prefer a man because we both have that same, mindset and those same aspirations. But I don't see a lot of men who are okay with the type of life that I live. Like, they want more attention. And I understand, like you said, people's love language is quality time and you might need that, but I can only give you what I can give you right now.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's important to consider is, the traditional dynamics of a relationship, especially ones that are commonly talked about today. Because you look at it, generally speaking, people look at the man as being a provider, protector, all that shit, and the woman being like the compassionate side, being his piece, making a home and all that, or whatever. So a lot of women, even though they are entrepreneurs, they still want to be able to depend on their man to provide for them, protect them, and all that stuff. And he still wants to be able to depend on you to be that compassionate side when he gets home. You know what I'm saying? So imagine a man, playing that role or fulfilling that role. And then he comes home, and every time he comes home, you're like, oh yeah, I'm hustling. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to that bag. I'm prioritizing, the money or whatever. Go ahead.
So here, I think this is the part that a lot of people get confused. You can still be a traditional girl and be an entrepreneur. It's just gonna look different. Right. And what do I mean by that? Like if I'm hustling, you hustling, I'm not gonna have time to cook, but maybe we get a chef because we can afford it. If we got kids, and and personally speaking, those are my aspirations, is to not have to actually cook. I can cook, I just don't like it. So I'm probably gonna hire a chef. I'm just gonna have staff in general because I really don't see my life just me cleaning a tub and boiling anything anymore.
Well, yeah, I wasn't talking about that part though. No, I'm saying like that's why I say compassionate, like being a compassionate side. You know what I'm saying? So I come home, you know what I'm saying? I just, left the meeting or whatever, and I need to decompress, and I'm looking to my lady, you know what I'm saying, to be that soft, sweet, compassionate side, you know what I'm saying, to help me wind down and stuff like that. And shit, she need to wind down her damn self. You know what I'm saying? Because she been hustling all the time. And then also one thing I think is very important to consider is if you are like super busy, and Jasmine, you kind of talked about this before. If you're super busy, you know what I'm saying, and you constantly having to, oversee your business and be involved in every single part of every single detail and stuff like that, then frankly, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but you just may not have your shit together yet. You know what I'm saying? Your business may not be where it needs to be. You're not bringing in the income that you needed. You know what I'm saying? Your business isn't stable enough, and that's why you're having to like oversee every single detail of it. So you may not need to be dating at that time. And that's not to say that people can't date while they're getting their shit together, but that may not be the best priority.
But Doc, and that's the thing, because people gotta prioritize the shit. Like if you really, because in order for you to really scale a business up, you have to put in that sweat equity to the point where you can remove yourself from those little details. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what understanding coming at, though.
But yeah, that's what understanding coming at. But everybody's understanding in theory until they see what the fuck understanding really looks like.
Understanding,
you know? So once when it comes to the point to where you really doing the shit that she was understanding about when you said what it looked like, and you really start doing it, Then she wants your attention. Then she wants your time. Then she wants to do this and do that. So at some point, you're going to either have to be like, yo, I need to get this done. And it doesn't matter how you feel about that. You have to neglect those feelings in order to continue to pursue that success that you need to get at a scalable point. Now, if you're talking about entrepreneurs who are more well-established, who've been in the game for a minute, they got the money, they got the time, they done, outsourced a little bit of their business so they don't have to focus on every moment. It's really about prioritizing if that's what is right for you. You know what I'm saying? That you can take the time to step away from your business and be like, okay, I'm going to take the time to see what's wrong with her, or I'm going to take the time to see what we need to do or what she wants to do. It's time for us to take a break. You really have to be at that point. And if you're not, something is going to get sacrificed. It's going to be either your business or it's going to be either the relationship. But you got to be willing to take the sacrifice on either end. It's all about perspective.
I agree, but I feel like we're only focusing on the time aspect as far as like wanting an entrepreneur, but it's not just about that. It's also, as for me, wanting an entrepreneur who has a different idea of what it looks like when I say I want to build generational wealth and I want to have like several income. Now, I'm not saying that you can't build generational wealth with a 9-to-5. Because if you invest your money in, stocks or life insurance or real estate, you can build it. But that's just not the vision that I have for my family. Like, I want a partner who we can potentially have businesses on the side together and then, our own things going on. But like, there's a lot of different moving parts and different levels to it. And, it's more than just wanting an entrepreneur just because he understands that I'm always on my grind or I don't have like time for this and that. It's deeper than that.
I can understand it. I can actually understand it. But let's look at that at this aspect. Do you know how many entrepreneurs who've taken a loss right now because of what's going on? Let's
a lot of them.
Right? There's plenty of entrepreneurs.
I can't relate. I can only focus.
You don't have to relate. Right? You don't have to relate because again, you're looking for a person who's an entrepreneur, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs on average is taking a huge loss. A huge loss. Most entrepreneurs have their own business. Most entrepreneurs, are doing real estate, and they're taking a huge loss because of the epidemic that's going on right now. There's plenty of people again who have a 9-to-5, who have their job that have that security. So at the end of the day, I can actually understand the whole aspect of wanting an entrepreneur because of that type of lifestyle you may want, or even that mentality. But even a 9-to-5 still holds some type of security. Because like, even with my job, right? My lady's an entrepreneur, right? But here's the thing about it, because with everything that's going on with social distancing, her job is taking a suffer. But while with my job, it's not taking a suffer, right? So that would that balance come in at, because guess what? Where she lacks at, I come in to support. If it comes to a point where I lack that, guess what? She come back and support. But right now, because of what's going on, I'm that heavier support. You feel what I'm saying? Because that 9-to-5. With the business that I work with, I talk to plenty of people, plenty on a daily basis, who have regular entrepreneurs who taking a huge loss. You know what I'm saying? Again, we can talk about people who are not taking a loss, but guess what? If people didn't take a big loss, guess what? The government never issued these stimulus packages, right? A lot of businesses will not be asking for all these, you know what I'm saying, all these bailouts, right? So plenty of people are taking a huge loss, while 9-to-5 people are actually still coming up. There's plenty of 9-to-5 people who have a better come up than those people who are entrepreneurs. So again, I can understand it, but I feel like that's a balance, right? And then when we talk about where, okay, my time, at the end of the day, you're going to put your time with a person you feel is quality or worth your time, right? You're going to make time for that person. I don't care what anybody say. You could be the most busiest person in the world, right? We just all agree that Jay-Z and Beyonce, you know what I'm saying, they make time for each other, right? But they're very busy. I guarantee you look at their schedule, they're both probably in different states, different countries, at any different part of time. But you know what? They make time for each other.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's also, we have to realize where they are in their entrepreneurship because they aren't just getting off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's very likely when they were first getting off the ground, they weren't really dating. You know what I'm saying? They was hustling. You know what I'm saying? And so I that's why I say that when you initially getting started, you know what I'm saying, when you finding your way, you just trying to, you know what I'm saying, scrape up your coins, get your shit off the ground, and you gotta, you know what I'm saying, prioritize your business plan and your presentation that you have over a date or whatever, then maybe dating isn't your priority. Maybe that's not where your energy should be focused on.
Yeah, that's all. At the end of the day, D, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like at the end of the day, people gonna make time for what they want to make time for. And to be honest with you, let's just take B. Simone, for example. She may say that her preference is not a 9 to 5, but if she meets someone before he even tells her that he works a 9 to 5 and he treats her with the utmost respect, he gives her all the things that she needs as far as what she's looking for in a relationships, besides working a 9 to 5. Because let's just put this out there: working a 9 to 5, that really it has a lot to do with basically the time aspect. But as far as how you treat a person, that speaks volumes. You know, how understanding he is, that speaks volumes. His character, whether or not she can trust him, whether or not she can, whether or not he makes her feel like the way she wants to be, the way she wants to feel, those speak actually louder to what he does for a living. So you just never know how she will feel and say, you know what, I said I don't want a 9 to 5 guy, but this guy literally checks all the boxes when it comes to making me feel like the woman I was born to be. So, you know, I think it's just like Larry said, I think it's just perspective, and then also experience as well. We are our experiences. If we meet someone who changes our perspective on life, then that's just what it is. Sometimes we can be in an environment that shapes our mindset and shapes our perspective, and then we meet someone that wasn't in our environment and wasn't in our world that we grew up in. And next thing you know, it changes our perspective. So people can change. Their minds can change. It's the growth mentality. We all can change. We are forever learning new experience. We are forever learning new things. So I think, like I said, B. Simone is her perspective, but I truly believe that if she meets someone who really treats her the way she wants to be treated, not saying that she will change her mind all the way, but I think that she would, she would think about it, think about changing her perspective.
So let me ask the guys this, because Jasmine brought something up that I feel like no one has addressed just yet. How do you guys feel about dating a woman who's a serial entrepreneur or who's building a business?
I encourage my wife to do it. I encourage my wife to do it all the time. I believe God blessed her with a lot of abilities that will bring a lot of generational wealth to our family. So I encourage it. I encourage her to, whatever she wants to do. If she wants to be an entrepreneur, because I've seen the things that she does and the gifts that she has, and whatever I can do to support, I'm all for it. I think also, that's an ego thing, man. You know what I'm saying? What you're talking about, that's an ego thing. If a guy's not secure, if he's not secure in what he got going on, he gonna try to shun her, or the male will try to shun the female in pursuing her dreams. But if he's secure, even if he work a 9 to 5, and I do work a 9 to 5, if he's secure in what he got going on, and I believe that, I'm on a path for success. If she want to be an entrepreneur, she got my 110% support, because I don't have an entrepreneur spirit. I don't have an entrepreneur mind. I can't deal with people. I don't like dealing with people. I like getting money, and I have a way of finding, good employment where it gives me the things that I need. It gives me a 401k, 457. So in 20 years, I can retire. I ain't got to worry about nothing else. So that's the thing. That's the path I'm on. So if she want to be an entrepreneur, she has my full support. Whatever she needs, I am there. I don't have, if she has to be up 1 to 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning in order to fulfill those dreams, she has my support. That's why I say I think it's an ego thing. That's an ego thing.
Like this is how I feel. I feel like we like to complicate a lot of things, especially within the Black community. The question you asked is complication because it's a redundant answer. It's all about perspective. How do I feel about a entrepreneur woman who's on her grind and on her hustle, trying to get it off the ground and get it out the mud and get it to a point to where she could scale? It's all about my perspective. Am I able to understand and be able to ride with her through whatever she may go through in that journey? You know what I'm saying? Am I able to handle her possibly not being able to spend time with me when I want her to be able to spend time with me? Am I able to handle all those things? You know, and if I am, then I'm in it for the long haul. Not to say that it won't be bumpy, because it's going to be guaranteed to be bumpy. Because if you stick around with somebody who's a serial entrepreneur and out here hustling and get it and doing whatever it takes to reach that pinnacle of success, then you're going to go through that bumpy ass road. But are you going to be there when the finished product? And I guarantee you one thing though, if you are with any entrepreneur who is in that spot where they have the future and you can see it, if you are able to stick with them in that way through the mud, man, goddamn, that'll be the most loyalist person to you, because entrepreneurs already know that it's hard to find people to even believe in your dream and what you got going on in the first place. You have to be able to find motivation within yourself to continue to pursue what you feel like is going to bring you past that line of success and everything that you want. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to already find somebody like that. So if I got somebody who was able to put up with what I had going on at the time and to put up with, you know, not saying that they settled or, you know what I'm saying, whatever, but if the end goal is that I've outsourced everything, I've stepped away from my business, and now I have time to pursue other endeavors or spend more time with that person that invested that time with me, then that's what that person is going to do. It's all about whether you are willing to make the long-term investment to wait that shit out. Because to be real with you, a lot of people don't even become successful as entrepreneurs. So you were taking a chance either way. It's about your risk tolerance. If we want to talk about entrepreneurs and business, it's about your risk tolerance. Are you able to handle that? And everything else other than are you able to handle that complicates the situation.
Hell no. No, I'm playing.
Hey, all those aside, like for real, I truly believe, like I said, it's character over everything, man. Like for real, like we all got our perspectives and we all got our things. You know, at the end of the day, Aaron got his own path, Larry got his own path. All my brothers here, they got their own path. Spank got his own path. But at the end of the day, guess what? If they all showing me loyalty, you know what I'm saying? They all showing me that they my brothers, and not saying that. And trust me, leave a relationship is different, but character is everything. You know what I'm saying? Somebody show you that they there for you, that they support you, whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? And as long as they not a bum, you know, they got something going for themselves. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will make that adjustment. Just like, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, but they working 9 to 5, but they support me. They showing loyalty. You know what I'm saying? They understand it. Like you say, everybody got that different level of understanding. Like Larry said, that different level of understanding. Until, you know, I want to be an NFL wife, but if I see them, you know, once every 3 months, do I still want to be an NFL wife? You know, it's different. You know, when you that level of understanding once you in the fire versus talking about the fire. But I think that carries over everything. Just showing people and showing what you really about versus this. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot we can say. Yeah, but over time, you can fake. You know, I can take a picture and fake. You know what I'm saying, how my status is in life. But you can't fake fruit that's grown from a tree, bro. You can't fake that.
You can't fake work. You can't fake a motherfucker who out here truly getting it and hustling. Because a lot of people like to say they own that shit. But you notice the grind if you in the grind. You ain't got to say too much shit.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking when you were saying that, was that from my experience, I've had a lot of men who we'll go on a date and then he'll start talking about his entrepreneurial dreams or something like that. But then as the relationship or as we start talking and progresses, I'm looking for like, well, what have you done towards, pursuing that? And they were just giving me their representative because they thought because I'm doing this, they gotta show or they gotta make it seem like they're doing something too. But you'll eventually see like the fakeness. And that's why I said I would like just somebody who's actually an entrepreneur instead of somebody who says they have this or that dream and they're really not doing anything to get it.
But let's be honest, right? We got a lot of people, especially in our community, who have great dreams. They have great aspirations, right? But they don't have the goals, you know what I'm saying? Or they don't have the means of achieving those goals, right? Or the will. So here's the thing about it, right? You know how to achieve your goals. You know how to reach your goals, right? So when that person comes to you, right? At the end of the day, you can also be that person like, you know what? I understand what you're trying to reach, right? Well, let's just try this. Now, are you that type of person? Because some people have to listen, like, you know what? I hear you, right? And they be like, you know what? I don't support you only because that you don't know how to reach your goal. But some people really have a lot of great goals. They don't have the opportunity.
All right, hold on. Hey, Aaron got a question, and then I want to rebuttal what Spank said.
And my question is, because we've been harping on the, career path, not necessarily the financial portion, because we didn't talk about how much a person should make. But when it comes to career path, I feel like, especially for the ladies, what's the first thing y'all looking for when you are dating? Is it career path, or are we talking about something else? Like, is that the initial question that you want is gonna break the deal? Like, are you a 9-to-5er? Never mind.
For me, I don't look at like career path as let me figure out how to answer this properly because it could sound real B. Simone-ish. So overall, I do look for a man that has earning potential. I'll say it that way because I know what my earning potential is and I know what the goals I want for my family look like. So Jasmine said generational wealth. I already put the motions or the wheels in motion to obtaining that, right? I'm working on getting my second property. So I need somebody who, if I'm going to take it with you on the long haul, that you're not going to have fucked up credit that's going to fuck up me getting more houses so that we can build this generational wealth. You're not going to you can't have a situation where, you're living paycheck to paycheck because if we're trying to do this as a unit, you actually have to kind of bring something to the table in that regard. And I think that's kind of where B. Simone was going with it, but she kind of like fucked it up with how she was explaining it. So for me, it's not just like anybody can make money. You can literally do anything and make money. People making 6-figure incomes, posting pictures on Instagram. Anybody can make money. So for me, it's not like, oh, he's a trash man, so I can't talk to him. It's like, okay, he's a trash man now, but does he want his own sanitation business? Do he want to get a couple of trucks and, contract out with the county or with the state? Something like that can kind of show me what your earning potential is and what you're putting in place in order to make those things.
So they might not have that aspiration to own their own business. If I'm already making $100,000, why?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Don't try to make $100,000, $100K. Yeah. Right? Let's be honest. The average person is not making $100K. The average person is not making $100K.
I'm gonna just speak for myself. $100K is not enough for me because I make more than that. I make way more than that. So for me, $100K is the base.
Language.
No, I ain't got it. But I was saying, I also, if y'all remember earlier in the conversation, I said I had multiple streams of income. So I have my own business. I have rental property, and I have my 9-to-5, and I have 2 types of businesses that I'm doing on top of the real estate. So if I'm able to make multiple hundreds of dollars, you need to be able to make multiple $100,000s, or at least help me come up with a plan so that I can go do it and you can be the support base. But if you're not even bringing ideas to the table, you're not even bringing none of that stuff to the table, like what are you really here for? Because at that point, you're gonna kind of be like my child. And that's what I think a lot of like successful and entrepreneurial and hustling women are afraid of, is being with a guy who, yeah, he may be a great guy, but I have to carry him through life. Nobody wants to carry anybody through life.
No. Let's get both answers.
But I got a question. Let me ask my question real quick, right? Because you said 100K is not enough. What is enough?
I'll let you know when I get to it.
Wait. You just said 100K is not enough. So you gotta have it, right? So right now in your position, what is enough?
I don't know. I can't tell you that number because
you gotta know the minimum because you already saying 100K is not enough. So what's
I think it'll be where she's at or better. It's probably where she's at or better.
And that's for right now, because a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, she's not going to be at the same level.
Right now. Let me ask you this thing.
I don't have an answer. Because when I look at, like, for example, I'm going to tell you why I don't have an answer. Because 100K is just potential earning. So, like, you make 100K salary right now. On the good side, you're bringing home 75. And then you got to split that amongst your bills, right? Versus somebody, if you say to me, if you come to me with 50K salary, but you own a property and you have investments, I'll take a look at the person who has 50K property and investment before I look at somebody who's only bringing 100K to the table. So I have no minimum. It's about your total portfolio and your total package. Because I know what my package is like.
That same guy who's bringing 100K, who don't have the extra, investments in property, guess what? That money, depending on his lifestyle, that money he's already saving, it probably be maxing out more than more. So this is my question, right? Again, like, in your preference, like, if a guy wanted to approach you, what type of salary range he needs to be in? That's my question.
Again, I don't look at salary. I look at your total package. Because again, like I said, yeah, you have the potential to do all these things with 100K salary, but the person with 50K actually has it. So why would I overlook the person who actually has it versus the person who has the potential to have it? They put in actions to their words.
Right. I guess my question was, if he's making 100,000, and he never thought about diversifying his portfolio, is that something that he has to already know, or is that something you'll be willing to teach him? Or I think it depends. Because everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody don't come in environments like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't go in environments where they talk about investments. You know what I'm saying? As of now, that's why it's so important to hang around people that know money. If you want to make more money, that's why it's important to hang around those type of people. But everyone doesn't. Someone was a professional was once an amateur, right? He was once an amateur. Somebody had to invest in him to say that this is not the way you do things. So I guess my question to you would be, if he's making 100K, would you be able to say, have you thought about this? Or have you thought about this? Or would you just be like, nah, he ain't investing in nothing. I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. At the end of the day, I feel like $100,000 is a lot of money that a person can make. So I don't care if a person had aspiration and investing or not. If they're good at financially, as in budgeting money and spending money, they still hold a lot of value compared to the average person. Because most people on average only make like $30,000 a year.
I don't think $100,000 is a lot of money. Like when we're talking about generational wealth, like I'm trying to make sure that my grandchildren are good at least.
Now I'm trying to make sure my 3 generations after are good.
$500. The average person not making $100,000. The average person not making.
I hear you, but we're not going after average. We're not going after average.
I feel like Black people in general, as a people, we dream so small that we think that the goal is just 6 figures. It's just $100,000. When you look at these other ethnicities and these other backgrounds, their goal is to make sure that their lineage is good. We're talking millions of dollars, not 100. 100K is nothing. Do you remember when you made, $10 an hour? You thought that was good. And then you made 15 and you like, oh yeah, I'm making $15 an hour. Now you make 20. You like, oh, I'm making good money. $100,000 is just not. It's not enough. Like you need to have multiple.
I think that this is on your lifestyle.
Hold on. I got a question. Hold on.
No, I was asking, would y'all just like deny him if he did not even have that mindset. If he making 100K, you know what I'm saying, but he didn't even think about that. Would y'all just deny him, or
I would like for if he asked me, if he said, "Hey, I'm interested in learning more about real estate investing. Like, can you, take this money or tell me how much money I need?" Then yes, I would definitely be willing to help and teach him how to do that. But if you expect me to come to you and say, "Oh, you got 100,000," like you need to make the effort so that I can see that you actually are trying to put some action behind your words. Like, I'm not here to.
That's the thing. He's already above average because he's making 100K, right? He's already above.
Nah, he's above average now. Like
no.
As far as like
who's average?
100.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Who's average?
You're looking at the work scale.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was just talking about
if he. I'm just saying. You meet a guy.
$100 is more than a lot of motherfuckers be making.
I'm just saying.
That's a lot more. On a regular scale, on a working class 9 to 5 scale, $100,000 is a lot more than what a lot of people are making on the 9 to 5 scale.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta think about it.
It's a lot more than a lot of entrepreneurs are making. But we're looking at two women who have bigger goals and bigger dreams than that. So we need a man who's going to match that.
We're not talking about the aspiration portion. We're just talking about the average of 9 to 5 working class people, minus the aspiration. Nobody has aspiration. Everybody's where they're at. In that aspect, $100,000 is a lot. Yeah, minus the aspiration and investing and shit. But Izzy, I had a question for you, Izzy. I got a normal person. Are you looking to refinance that house that you?
No, I'm not. First of all, I have a great interest rate, and I locked it in before interest rates started climbing again, right before COVID happened. So I'm actually pretty good, and my tenants pay me very, very well. And if I refinance, it's only going to be to go below 3%.
3%?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good rate.
Yeah. So to answer, I don't know what the bald gentleman's name is, but to answer your question, like similar to what Jasmine was saying, like if you come to me and you make a great salary of 100,000, and I'm only saying that I'm not taking. Let me make sure I put a disclaimer. I'm not downplaying anybody that makes $100,000 or less, because I understand what the struggle was before I made that type of money. My parents don't even make that kind of money. I still understand what it's like. So when I'm saying, strictly looking at it from my perspective and where I am now and where I want to be within the next 3, 5, 10, the rest of my life, 100,000, it's good money. I will never shit on somebody that makes 100K. But I think from my perspective, if you're coming to the table with 100K and you are willing to learn, like Jasmine said, you're willing to do something with that money, I will absolutely accept you. However, I don't meet a whole lot of people that have 100K that aren't already financially savvy or already in the mindset of creating, other avenues of income through investing that are just sitting on a bunch of money, like somebody who would just have 100K. Somebody who's just making 100K, if you don't have a savings account, you don't have just the basic stuff, you're probably not someone that's teachable. I would have to see what you're working with in order to determine if that's something that I'm willing to go into, because I've dated a lot of people who made less than me. I've never had a man that made more money than me. And I tried to help them.
Because at the end of the day, as a black man who
everything gets us. Come on, bro.
No, not even that. Not as a black man who is in a successful career field. It's not that many. It ain't that many black men that you gonna find making 100K. That's why I asked you that question. That's why I asked you that question. That's a real question. So if I go take a survey of black men who making 100K, you ain't, bruh.
You ain't gonna find that.
You ain't gonna find it.
You're not gonna find it. And here's the
you
thing
ain't gonna
about
find it. It's gonna be unless they a lawyer, unless they a doctor, unless they and
it depends on what kind of lawyer.
What kind of lawyer?
They ain't got time for entrepreneurship.
And the thing about it is, most entrepreneurs that are black men that's making 100K, 9 times out of 10, You know what type of entrepreneurs they
are. All right.
I'm gonna say this.
Here's the thing.
You know what type of entrepreneurs.
Go ahead, Izzy, and then I'm gonna chime in after this.
This will be quick. My circle of friends, nobody makes under 100K. So I think y'all should. I think what it is that the people that you surround yourself.
That's a small. That's not even 1% of the population.
And who said population?
I'm talking about generally speaking.
I hear you, but most people date within their own inner circle anyway. So if my inner circle has the basics of what I want, I don't see what the issue is. If your inner circle doesn't, like, no offense to your inner circle, but maybe you should consider who's in your inner circle. Because my inner circle, everybody makes great money. Everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody's an investor, and we're all single. And I've dated a couple entrepreneurs, so I know exactly what it is I'm seeking because I've had it before.
Your inner circle, what those numbers look like?
So my best friend has her own business, and she brings in by herself. She has a partner by herself. She's bringing in 300K.
That's one
by herself. Her partner is bringing another 300K.
Right.
And that's just the salaries that they pay themselves.
The narrative.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on. Hey, I've been quiet for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and chime in real quick. So I think one thing that we have to keep in mind is that, you know what I'm saying, it's what we've been preaching about the whole time. It's the mentality. So when prior to I'd say like maybe 3 years ago, I thought $100,000 was a ton of money. I did. Now I'm not about to sit on here cap and act like, you know what I'm saying, I'm out here making $150,000 and all that shit because I don't got nobody to impress. But the closer that you get to a higher amount of money, the more you realize that your bills just increase, and that amount that you thought was a ton of money really ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you use these salary calculators and you look at, okay, because I play around with salary calculators all the time. I say, okay, if I was still paying the same amount for my benefits and my 401k and all that shit, same percentage and all that, how much would my take-home pay increase if I doubled my salary? You know what I'm saying? Or tripled it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not as much as a lot of people think. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we,
I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna let you finish. The reason why I asked that question is because I definitely understand. I was just asking these questions, like I said, from a general perspective, because again,
right, no, I get that.
I understand 100K now.
No, I'm a too.
My line of profession, I'm in human resources, and that's what I do for a living. I do salary negotiations. I understand what's a lot of money and what's paid from a weekly standpoint, from a compensation, from a total compensation standpoint, from benefits, 401k, 457. I understand all of that. I was talking about from a general standpoint, from an average, because the average person, while your inner circle makes 300K and 350 plus, that average person, they're not making that. So that's what I'm saying. My question was, generally, if someone was to come making that amount of money and they were to come like making that amount of money, would that just be a turnoff if they didn't have that in those investments? They would have to come to you, or like, I mean, they would have to come to you. You wouldn't say like, you know what, I see this person, they don't know any better, because that is real. They don't know any better.
I don't like the idea of.
That's not the question though. Don't change the narrative.
Wait, hold on, y'all. I want to finish. So that's what I was kind of getting at. You know what I'm saying? Because the closer that you get to that amount, the more you start realizing that it's not as much as you thought it was. And so your goal is, you know what I'm saying, like the higher you get up, you're like, okay, well, I need to start doing this. I want this, I want that, I want this for my family, et cetera, et cetera. So by the time you hit 100K, you should have already realized that 100K ain't shit in the grand scheme of things of what you truly want. And so at that point, you already starting to look at, okay, well, how else can I make, you know what I'm saying, my money work for me? What investments can I make? Let me start learning about stocks and shit. Let me get some life insurance so I can leave behind a life insurance policy rather than a GoFundMe account. You know what I'm saying? You just start moving different because it just like Sherman Spank was saying, the average person, the average salary is about roughly 40 to 50K. You know what I'm saying, in America. So a lot of people do be capping about how rich they are, how much money they're making and shit like that. But I think what the ladies are saying is that the closer that you get to it, is not very likely that you're gonna meet a motherfucker who making 100K or more and hasn't already realized that 100K ain't shit and that they need to figure something else out.
I got a question. How can y'all really say 100K is not shit when the average person is only hitting about 50K, bro?
Because we got bigger dreams than that.
Here's the answer. The reason why we can say 100K is not shit in relation to what we want and what we're making is because your perspective changes once you reach the goal. The goalpost always changes when it comes to finances and long-term financial gain. Now, I'm gonna just go ahead and answer it from the perspective of when I was making 30K. Yes, $100,000 was a lot of money because I couldn't imagine what it would be like to spend that kind of money or to like be able to afford things, because when you're making 30K, you really can't afford shit but the necessities. When you make 100K, you can afford more than the necessities. You can even splurge a little bit. You can travel. You can do certain shit. But when I got to that 100,000, I realized like, damn, okay, like yeah, I'm making more money and I'm able to save more, but 100K is not never ending. It ends. It has an ending. And so now that I'm making more than that, I'm just like, all right, cool. So my next goal is 600,000. And when I make that, I'm probably gonna say shit, well, 600,000 wasn't shit when I reached a $500,000, $1.5 million. So to me, it's like it's more so like when you get to that point and you actually can recognize where you are and you're like, ooh, I need more for what I'm trying to do.
Every time you reach your goal, you're increasing your expenses. So
no, that's not what I said.
100K is not a lot of money because before we hit 100K, we was at 30,000, right? When we hit $30,000, right? You increase, you know what I'm saying, how much money that you're spending for that. So you're increasing, you know what I'm saying, your livelihood. You're increasing that. So they're even saying like, yo, you know what? They're like saying $1 million is not a lot of money, right? A lot of people.
It's not.
$1 million is a lot of money.
To me, it's not.
When the average person is only making like $50,000, $1 million is a lot of money. But how you live and your means of living, that's what changes the outcome. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we can be honest. If you're making $100,000 and I'm making $100,000, but we're above the average, the American. We're above the average American.
That's why I said I feel like we're putting these limits, these glass ceilings up, where we think that 100K is the goal when we can be so much more than that. We can make so much more than that. But you have to actually believe that you can achieve more than that. You can't say, "Oh man, I'll never make 100K."
I agree. But however, I would never say 100K ain't shit. Because I'll be honest,
we said that that's not our goal.
That's not a lot of money because that the government had to give out people $1,200 on some real shit. How many people have received $1,200 in that stimulus package and they needed that shit? So you cannot tell me 100K is not a lot of money when all these Americans needed $1,200. Because guess what? I can be honest with you, $1,200 ain't shit. That ain't shit. I'm sorry, but that ain't shit, bro. Compared to how much I make, $1,200 is like $1, bro. I'm sorry, but guess what? You know how many Americans need that $1,200? So I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that 100K is not a lot of money, but so many people.
Wait, hold on, time out. You saying we can't say 100K ain't shit, but you just said $1,200 ain't shit. Somebody else gonna tell you how you gonna say $1,200 ain't shit. You personally get $400 when they pay you.
All I was trying to figure out was, were they willing to teach someone who making 100K how to spend their money? That was my whole question.
Jazz, you didn't comment on that question. Can you answer Sherm's question? Would you, if somebody came to you and they had the income, but they just wasn't savvy in terms of like business and startups, would you be willing?
Like you said, the crazy thing about it is, like you said, in your circle, there are people that most likely, if they had 100K, they are savvy, but there are people that, guess what? They was blessed and they happen to be in engineering. They happen to be in these STEM companies. I know plenty of people that can't. I have plenty of line brothers, and I had plenty of college roommates that graduated with 2.0s, right? But because they were in these fields, they went straight into $86,000 salaries, right? And then afterwards, they got merit increases. 3 years later, they had $115,000. So that don't mean that they's financial savvy.
You're absolutely right. When I used to work for Wells Fargo, I worked with a lot of wealthy customers there, and they had the worst credit. You know, they didn't pay their bills either. And it's not that they didn't make the money. They just, like you said, financially savvy. But you know, to your point, like I'm not here to teach you all the tricks of the trade. Like if you ask me, if you come to me on that level, you know, I'll be willing to help, but I'm not here to like tell you what to do with your money. Like you gotta want to do it for yourself. If you want to be out here spending every weekend, going to the club, popping bottles, buying tables and all of that, that's fine. You can do that and find somebody else who wants to live that type of lifestyle as well. But I'm not, you know, I'm not the person to try to pull you out the mud or lead the horse to water and try to force it to drink. Like, nah, come to me, you know. But it honestly, I don't even like the idea of even doing that. Like, I would love for the man to already have that mindset when we come to the table together. Like, you know, but I won't say that I'm aware.
Everybody's young though. My thing is, I mean, at what age? At what age? I mean, I'll be honest. Within the past year, I really focused on more so investing my money, saving my money, you know, and I'm up 50% than what I normally would have, right? But at the same time, in December, I'm gonna turn 30. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't have that mindset because it took me to a point where, like you said, like, you know, popping bottles. Like, I'm that nigga who going to the strip club, man, spend $300 in a day, like, you know, on a stripper for what, right? Because I could. Because you know what? Come and get that money right back. I'll be honest with you, right? Let me get it right back. It's nothing for me spending $300,000. Keep it moving, right? But now, like, yo, I gotta invest my money. But here's the thing about it. To me, I feel like I'm still young because I'm 29. I'm about to turn 30 in December. A lot of people, I make more money for the average 40-year-old, right? So that I feel like there's a lot of people who have the opportunity, but they're not there because they don't know the opportunity. Like, I talk to people all the time about investing. Like, I hear people. I literally had a person tell me today that they can't invest their money. But in my mind, yeah, you can invest a penny. I can show you how you can invest a penny. But the thing about it, a lot of people don't have those avenues. They don't understand. They don't know. So my main thing about it, like this is too, right? Do you have that patience to let a person know, like, you know what, this is what you can do. This is how you can actually how you can make your money grow, right? Because at the end of the day, right, we gotta have that. We gotta end that crab in a barrel mentality and produce more wealth. But then we come to where let me show you.
I mean, I agree, and that's why, like, one of my long-term goals is to be a venture capitalist and actually invest in some of these businesses. But I'm not dating for like potential anymore. Like, I'm dating with intention, and I'm dating to look at somebody and their patterns and what they actually do and what they actually bring to the table. Everybody got potential. Everyone has a dream. Everybody has some type of goal, but do they really have what it takes to achieve it? If your goal is just to be above average, then you're not dreaming big enough for me. Your goals and your aspirations are not high enough for me to be my partner.
I can respect that.
That's a C. We're trying to be A+.
So I'm gonna just say this. And I think a lot of people don't really consider what they're asking when they say things like, are you willing to teach somebody? Teaching somebody is not a gift that everybody has. I'm not a teacher. That's why I'm not a teacher by trade right now, because I don't like teaching. Now, I will say this. I am more than willing to give you enough information so that you can take that and do your own research and you can go learn on your own. But I'm not about to sit you down and explain to you the difference between a CD, a savings account, a stock, an option, or a bond. I'm not doing that because I'm not a financial planner. You can go get that information for free.
Yeah, I'm on option trading, so I mean, I need somebody to teach me that though. You know, we can talk about that. It sounds like you know about it, right? It sounds like you know about it. So why
I know a lot about I know a little bit about everything, to be honest with you, because I've made it my duty and my purpose in life to learn things so that I can know enough to say, you know what? I recognize I don't know as much as I thought about this. Let me go do research.
That's my whole purpose about talking about that crab in the barrel mentality, right? You know about it, I don't. I'll be honest with you, right? I got the capital, but I don't understand how to option trade. Well, so why wouldn't you teach me?
That's not a crab. First of all,
hold on. Yourself.
That's not a crab in the barrel mentality, because I specifically said I will tell you enough so that you can go and do the research. I didn't say I'm holding on to information, because I don't hoard information. I've never been that person. But if you come to me and you say, hey, how can I make $100,000 in 5 years? I'm gonna be like, look, that's gonna be tough, because I don't know how to do anything illegal that's gonna flip $100,000 out of 20. But I'm gonna tell you what I know about the stock market, and I'm gonna tell you, here, look at these things. And if you don't do it, if I give you the tools, if I give you the starter pack and you don't open it, you can't call me a crab in the barrel, because first of all, I'm not in the barrel. You're in the barrel. I gave you enough to get out the barrel.
Hey, I got a question. Is anybody here willing to teach somebody how to not be a hoe and be faithful? No, hell no.
I know I'm not. I can tell you how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just be thinking one female.
It's just certain shit, like people like some. I think some shit you need to have the initiative within yourself to learn on your own. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm not teaching a woman, huh?
Yeah, beat your meat.
Like I'm not about to teach a partner how to, you know what I'm saying, be faithful, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that. Now I'll be patient with her as she learns how to communicate better, you know what I'm saying, as she learns how to show me love in my love language and shit like that. But the basic, no, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the basic is where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? Like just the foundation. I need you to meet me where I am. So I think that's what Izzy
I can't agree.
You should never try to change a person.
Right. That's emotional labor.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all realize how much emotional labor it takes to educate someone on just the standard. I'm not a teacher.
And it's a relationship. Like I'm not getting married to fucking teach your ass how to fucking save your money. Now, granted, I will definitely share what I know with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're my partner. But at the same time, like I don't want to have to build you up to being my partner. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a difference between being a partner and then having to build somebody up to where they can be your partner.
Right. It's
not a lot of work. That's what I was saying earlier.
They want
to man. I don't care what anybody say. At the end of the day, man, no matter what you're doing, like you got to have patience. You got the will to be patient with people, and even with the system that you're trying to get into, but that's going to give you that capital. Because think about it, right? You're saying that, or you meet a female, or male. For y'all ladies, y'all male, right? And you're saying that person not on the same level that you are. At the end of the day, when you meet a person, y'all not gonna always be on the same. But the odds of you meeting a person that's on the same level that you're on is not likely, right? Either you will be on a lower level than them, or they'll be on a lower level than you.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question for context. You said you're 29, you're about to be 30. Would you date an 18-year-old right now?
Why then? 18-year-old?
Yes. Would you date an 18-year-old, someone who just graduated high school? Like mine is all the social norms. No, let me phrase it.
You got a high school, right?
Let me phrase it. Let me dress it around. Minus all the social, things that come with it. You're just looking at an 18-year-old person who maybe has like a part-time job, just graduated high school. Would you, being where you at right now, date an 18-year-old if all those social norms didn't exist?
I'll be honest. It really depends. Let me tell you the reason why. I say it depends, right? It depends on that person's mentality. Because if that person is 18 years old, because I think in my mind, right, if I was 18 years old with the knowledge that I have, man, listen, I'll probably rule the world, right?
When you were 18, did you have the knowledge you have now?
Say again?
When you were 18, did you have this knowledge that you have today?
I did not. But I had somebody to teach me knowledge years ago. I ain't nobody teach me. So basically,
the answer is maybe.
I'm gonna be teaching her. Because I'm older.
So the answer is maybe. But when I said that I'm going to give you enough to teach yourself, that wasn't good enough?
No, it's not. Let me tell you the reason why I say that, right? Because I feel like you feel like you're limiting that person opportunity because you say, no, I'm just give you enough. I'm not giving you enough to move forward. How you take it?
Let me just clarify some things. I personally cannot limit anything from anybody. I'm not white. I don't have any social constructs that I've created or built. So I cannot limit anybody from anything. That's number one. Number two, if I tell you the basics and the keys, if I give you the gems and you don't use them, you cannot blame me that they were not successful for you because you never actually put them in play. If I give you a controller to a what game y'all like to play? PS5 or whatever. If I give you the controller to that and you don't turn that bitch on, are you gonna be mad at me because you didn't win your game, but you never actually turned the shit on? Can you actually be mad at me? I gave you the tool. I gave you the tool to play, and you just chose not to play. But now it's my fault because you didn't play. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you everything you need to get started. But if you don't start, that's not my business, and it's not my business to make sure that you start.
Go back to 18-year-old. That's when you gotta understand. All right, if that person is coachable, right? You're 18 years old. Are you listening to the guys that got you, and can we move forward? So that's the goal. You got that bond.
I haven't met an 18-year-old that listens to anything I have to say because they're not at that mentality where they actually want to learn about certain things, and that's okay. I'm 31. I'm 31.
Huh?
31.
31. Why you deal with 18-year-olds in the first place?
I didn't say I was going to deal with an 18-year-old. I'm just asking you.
I got a question based on what you asked me, right? But you said that
I wouldn't date an 18-year-old.
I would not. And I'll be honest.
The message behind it is that you don't have
most females. They already looking for an older guy in the first place. They already have a child mentality.
You're missing the point. The whole point was a comparison of how you want me to build somebody, but you won't build somebody. The only thing I changed, I added an age.
I did say if that person is coachable, right? So coachable meaning that if you're listening to the guidance that I give you, because I literally said that. Guess what? 18 information that I know right now at 18 years old, bro, my capital will be like literally 10 times more. Literally 10 times more.
I literally said that though. I just said it in a different way. What I said was, if I give you I'm going to give you what you need to get started. So what does a coach do? Does a coach put you on the field and actually show you how to run a play? No.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
They tell you to play. They show you how to do the drills. If you don't execute, that's your fault. So I have to use sports analogies and game analogies for you to get it. I'm saying that I'm gonna give you the play. It's your responsibility.
Hey, I'm sick of this shit. This is my shit. Y'all motherfuckers around here talking about some shit all fucking day. I'm sick of that shit. Look, no, you hold on. This is my shit. This is my shit. Look, it looks like my eyes been looking squinted the whole time. So we looking at this shit on a big ass TV. Hey man, hey, mute this nigga, D. Mute this nigga.
I'm gonna have to mute you, bro.
I'm gonna just say this. One thing I think Black people don't focus enough on when it comes to like finances and just being financially sound, it's not just about money. Like white people, when they look at like their money, they see assets, they might see liabilities, they see investments. For me, what I've done over the last couple of years is I have life insurance policy. I have two. I have a home. I have asset. I don't even count my car because that's a depreciating asset. That doesn't even count. And I have streams of income. I have my business. My business is now valued. It's not doing a whole lot of money, but it's making enough. You know, last year I did $25,000 in my business on the side. So when you start looking at these things, you know, I'm building up different methods for me, like different ways for me to be able to make money. And that's what I would prefer for my person, whoever that person is, to at least be considering and then starting to at least put one of these things in play. because you're not going to
it's not about the money or the dollar amount. It's about what you can do with the money. How do we expect to have change and all of that if you don't have any money? How are you going to invest in your community and you don't have no money? Yeah, you can go volunteer at the soup kitchen or, you know, whatever. But if you want actual change to happen, you need capital to do that.
Especially living in capitalist ass America. Yes. Nothing moves in this country without finances.
Nothing moves without money. And the more money that I make and the more connections, I should say, that I make with people who have a lot of money, it becomes so much more apparent that nothing is going to happen unless you have it. And
I met a guy. I went to Houston back in March, and it was my best friend's birthday.
Oh, I wanted to hear.
That was actually my fault.
I was like,
look, I look like I was a hater, didn't I? I was like, nah, fuck him, bro.
He cut off. Like, what the fuck?
This is a quick story. And you know, we were at this fancy ass restaurant and we're just having dinner or whatever. We come outside and it's a man in a rave, just a white man. And we were just like, oh my God, like he was just in front, just chilling, you know, just cooling it. And so we were taking pictures because it was my bestie's birthday. She just turned 31. And as she's taking the picture, the man is watching her and he's just like, oh, you know, what y'all doing tonight? And he's inviting us to places. So we hop in his car, nice ass car. Okay, it's a ring.
That shit don't matter. That nigga can have a 9-to-5 job and rented the fuck out that rape, and he tricked the fuck out that motherfucker.
And we were like, oh, okay, well.
Until Izzy finished. Go ahead, Izzy.
So we were just like, well, shit, this is a nice ass car. So he was just like, you like the car? And we were like, yeah. He was like, go buy one. And then I started thinking to myself, like, the amount of wealth that you have to think that a car that expensive is just go buy one. So that's the wealth that I want to accumulate in my life.
And I'm gonna unmute them too. Hold on, your man said, "Hey, you like this shit? This shit dope as fuck, ain't it? This shit fly. Yeah, go get you one."
Yeah. It was a sandwich or something.
I feel like he knew you couldn't really get one, so it seems like the ultimate flex to be. What was your follow-up question? What was your follow-up?
Just like, oh wow, so it's just that easy. He was just like, anything you want in life, if you put a plan into action, you could get it. Mm-hmm. I said, that's a man that understands exactly what the fuck me and Jasmine are talking about.
I'm not even gonna hold you. So I could relate to that. So I remember about a year ago. So last year, actually last year I bought a Ford Fusion, right? Because I really my boy Larry had got one, and I saw it and I was like, man, I really like that car. I want one. And then about a year after that, I had got one. And then I got it, and a few months later, I was driving a Dodge Journey as a rental for work, and I really liked it. I was like, man, this shit, I like the look of it, the feel of it, and all that. I was like, I really want one of these. But then I discovered the Durango, the Dodge Durango. I was like, nah, that's what I want. That's like my dream vehicle. I really, really, really want that shit. But I'm like, man, I just bought a car. My credit trash. I ain't really got that much money saved up. None of that shit. Within a year of me saying I wanted it, I got it because I came up with a plan and I executed. And I'm not trying to brag or nothing like that. I'm saying I'm not balling by any means. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely agree with his perspective. Like, if you want it, just figure out how to get that shit and get it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me come from a brief spiritual perspective here. I really feel like anything that you want, you can manifest into existence. Everything that I have achieved thus far, I have spoke into existence. And that's why I feel like it's not going to be an issue for me to get $1 million because, hell, I got the house, I got car, I got the company. I've already done all these things that don't really make sense to people who only think that, you know, they're striving for $100,000 salary and that's it. But if you have the mindset that anything that you want, you can get, then, you know, it's nothing. Like it might sound crazy. It probably sounds crazy to people who don't understand that type of spiritual power and that mind.
I agree with you, but at the same time, to play devil's advocate, because I don't hit $100,000. You feel what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, $100,000 is more than enough.
No, what did you say before that? You said you done hit $100,000.
Say again.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I said I agree with you, but to play devil's advocate, I still feel as $100,000 is still more than enough because I've hit that and I'm like, shit, bro. At the end of the day, I want to keep hitting that. You know what I'm saying? I want more. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna keep hitting more. But at the end of the day, if my minimum is $100,000, you're not gonna tell me that that's not more than enough. I'm sorry.
It's for you.
It's not. For you,
I think what it is that is looking at it like in the grand scheme of things, like your ultimate dream. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a fucking billionaire, $100,000 is pennies compared to what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that when you like if you grind it, you know what I'm saying, you went from making $20,000 a year, because that's where I came from. 20, you know what I'm saying? I'm fucking making $7.25 an hour. You know what I'm saying? And grinding and moving up. And then the closer you get, like the more you move up, you know what I'm saying? Eventually you like, damn, this shit really ain't that much. You know what I'm saying? And then so you like, okay, well, what's next? And what's next? And what's next? And your dreams get bigger because you see, you know what I'm saying, the manifestation that you're doing, the grinding that you're doing, the goals that you hit, and the goals that you're achieving. So in the grand scheme of things, if you want generational wealth for your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids, you know what I'm saying, $100,000 isn't enough. It's not shit. It's for the moment, it's good money compared to where you were before. But in the grand scheme of things, it's truly not shit. So I think that's what you're saying.
Can I say something that it's just a little bit off topic, but I'm just wanting to know this. Because her story was about a white man that drove the race. And
she got in the car,
huh?
And she got in the car, her and her family.
I got in the car. Do you know? Let me just explain this to you. Do you know what sheepskin feels like on your ass? No, because you've never sat in the race. That's why.
No, but I wipe my ass with sheepskin though.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Before, no, that's lambskin. But white men tend to big flex on us more often, and I just want to, know why that it is that black men don't do the same time. I've only had one black man who has taken me out to a very nice dinner, nice restaurant. Didn't care about, the price tag on stuff. But white guys, whenever I have in the past agreed to a date with a white guy, it was always fine dining, top of the line, whatever. Like what is it about like not wanting to spend money on us on the first date?
What are you giving me? What do I get in return for that money being spent? You spend this whole episode talking about investments and bringing shit to the table. I ain't just about to be splurging just to be splurging.
You get my company. That is a blessing.
So here's this. Let me see this. So first of all, I'm tired of hearing that my company shit, because y'all company isn't as valuable as y'all think it is. Not saying y'all, but generally speaking, I'm generalizing. But let me say this: when I go out, the last thing on my mind is how much I'm spending. You know what I'm saying? I go out to have a good time and make sure I'm enjoying whatever the fuck it is that I'm doing. The woman being there is just a bonus. You know what I'm saying? So if I plan a date, say I want to go axe throwing or some shit, I ask you out on a date, but I wanted to go axe throwing, and I feel as though you will enjoy that as well. So it makes a good date. I invite you, whether or not you're good company or not, whether or not you're attentive, whether or not you have good conversation, whether or not you're rude to servers or any of that shit is irrelevant. I don't know if that's going to be true or not, but I wanted to go axe throwing. So I created that date for me and for you to hopefully enjoy and engage in. Me personally, I'm not a motherfucker that goes to fancy ass restaurants or fancy ass outings and stuff like that on a regular, because that's not what interests me. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good ass steak from Sullivan's or something like that. But as Larry said, that is an investment, because the average woman, you just meet a man, you not doing shit for him, right? So why the fuck would I be going all out of my fucking way to do all this lavish shit?
And I work a 9 to 5, D. And I work a 9 to 5, D. And so it don't even matter what the fuck I do. Because you don't like niggas that work 9 to 5. I just want to say, I just need to say that. And we gonna have to go out, bro. We gotta peel out. We gotta peel out, bro. First, I just want to thank everybody for coming. Izzy, Jazz, we're gonna really have to connect because I got this deal up in Kannapolis that you know, I would love to give you something on if you help me figure it out. All right, we're gonna link on that. But first off, all of this stuff has been chopped up to make it seem like there are other reasons for why people don't want to be involved with people, or you don't make you work a 9 to 5, or you make $100,000. It's all about perspective. Everybody took what was a general statement and general question and made it personal to them. So of course, y'all, that's not what y'all are looking for, but that's just y'all's perspective. When you're looking at the bigger scheme of things and the bigger picture, if we're talking about averages, you heard the numbers that we said. So averagely, people with your mindset don't even exist. So how are you going to take something that's on a perspective basis, something that's unique to you and what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept, and bring it on a level of generality? Because we sit here talking about what each other preferences are. Now, that's not general shit. So generally speaking, $100,000 could be a lot for the motherfucker that made $30,000-$40,000 for the last 3 or 4 years and thought that wasn't a goal that they can accomplish. It's all about your surroundings. It's all about your setting. It's all about how you're raised. It's all about what you're exposed to. It's all about what you expose yourself to. At the end of the day, entrepreneurs have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because you never know literally where your next meal from. Because if I stop doing what I'm doing, that means that's some kind of interruption into my flow of things. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about perspective and what people want, and people wanting an entrepreneur and people not wanting an entrepreneur, nobody knows what the fuck they want. Nobody knows until they go through some shit and figure out, yeah, I want this, and no, I don't want this. Because if we take away all those things we talked about and two people talked, either they're going to have chemistry or either they're not, man. And at the end of the day, none of that shit really matters. What does matter, though, is what you got going on in your own personal life and making sure that you're doing whatever it takes to accomplish your goals and your dreams, and making sure that you're willing to make the sacrifice that nobody who speaks ill of what you got going on is going to affect what you have going on. So we can talk about perspective this, relationship that, but to be honest with you, to each his own. And that's it at the end of the day. It's not about, because you can't put y'all's two individual perspectives on a general market. You see,
and that's what B-Simone did where she went wrong.
Yeah, and that's where she went wrong, bro. So I gotta go, bro. These niggas, they kicking me out the crib. They about to kidnap me, bro. I'm about to go out here. I done had a couple of cups. You know what I'm saying? We about to go out here and probably just drive around, because niggas, we ain't shit.
No, Uber, bro. Uber.
Yeah, Uber. That's what I'm going to do is Uber. I'm definitely going Uber. I just told these niggas I ain't going nowhere. But I just want to thank y'all again. Hey, Jazz, I'm serious. I'm going to get your contact.
Definitely, add me on social, media or whatever, so we can connect. You too, Izzy. I would definitely love to connect with you.
Yeah, girl, we got some things to talk about because I got some big plans. I need a realtor.
What's his
I need a realtor. I could get
everybody for tuning in tonight. Definitely appreciate everybody showing love. Make sure y'all subscribe to a Code One podcast on YouTube. And hey, it's lit. Once again, it's your boy Big D.
Hey man, it's your boy L Dottie, man, and we like to thank y'all for coming back to another episode of A
Code One. Yes, sir. All right, peace, y'all. Y'all be blessed.
Bye.